Hey there, Instagrammers. Hey there, Facebookers. We are live. It's Tuesday at 4 p.m. Ba-da-ba. You know what that means? That means we stop everything here at our design studio so I can come out and talk to you and check in, see how your design life is going, give you an update, give you a lesson, help you out with some of your questions. I saw some comments last time when we were on. We broadcast from Paris. I was there for a trade show and some design shows and so forth. And someone said, hey, this looks really cool. How do I get involved in this? So let me just tell you, I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate because I basically take design lovers like you, people who are working on your own homes, and I take you under my wing like a big mama bear, and I take great care of you by empowering people with systems and strategies with the products that we create, and our peeps get gorgeous results in their home. In fact, today I just approved putting things onto our website that are beautiful before and after shots that a bunch of our students have gotten. They're not designers, they're smart women just like you working on their own home. I'm so proud. I feel like the proud mama when you show your kids trophy. That's it. I am super proud. So if you ever want to take a look at that, you can head to our website, theinteriordesignadvocate.com, and the drop-down menu for our products. Just look at the before and afters. I'm so proud, and we're getting more to put out there as well. Alrighty, so what are we talking about here? Every Tuesday, 4 p.m., different topic. Today, I am talking about trends. We were at the Maison and Objet show. Maison means house and Objet means object. The House and Object show happens twice a year in Paris, September and January. The winter show is more about fabrics and so forth, and I'm more interested in looking for trend for furniture, color, lighting. And who attends this show? Well, furniture designers and interior designers and architects and publishers of and editors, I should say, of design magazines, and journalists who are writing about design in the magazines. Anybody who's designing something that a design consumer might purchase, like an accessory, a piece of fabric, a piece of lighting, a piece of furniture, they're attending the show, because this is like the pulse and the heartbeat worldwide where you will start to see things happening. Now, I'm going to tell you about the trends. I've been working on blog posts for this great show house I went to while I was there, as well as the Maison and Objet show. My computer today has been acting like a 98-year-old man after surgery, grumpy and out of it. So that turned me into kind of a 99-year-old woman pre-surgery, grumpy and, not in the mood for anything. So I'm hoping to get these blog posts out to you in the next week or two before I turn really old and gray, but we're working on it. So in the meantime, I'm going to tell you what the story is at Maison and Objet. So I'm going to talk about color. I'm going to talk about upholstery shapes. I'm going to talk about furniture shapes. I'll talk about lighting, interesting combinations that we saw as well. And feel free to put in any questions that you have about the trends I'm talking about, or about trend in general, or about your project as well. Katie, you're going to be watching for questions on Instagram in case any of those come in. Alrighty, so let's talk color. It was really interesting. Walked into one of the 7 giant halls for the Maison and Objet show, trade show, and boom, goldenrod was just everywhere, just popping. You could not help but see goldenrod. Not a gold, not a yellow, goldenrod. It's sort of a warm golden yellow. Really beautiful. Not a color I thought I'd be in love with, and I saw a little seed of it at the show 3 years ago. Didn't catch, but this year it was really big. Also olive green, another new color that was popping out really strong. Blush pink was still there for all of you pink lovers. It was still there in strong formation, but at times you saw the pink turning a little coral. Gulp, wasn't too happy about that. And at times you saw the pink turning a little burgundy berry. Not really looking forward to that combo coming back, that color combo, especially when someone showed it burgundy and green. Oh, beautiful at Christmas time, red and green, but I'm not ready to go back to that color combo. Navy blue is still having a moment, and a fairly strong moment. Look beautiful with the goldenrod. But I'll tell you what, gray was still there, so no panic if you've just painted your whole home gray. It's a neutral, it doesn't go out. But I'm sorry, I have like Carol Brady hair happening today. I got hair in my eyes. Sorry. Gray is not going away, but I will tell you, it wasn't the big story either in upholstered fabrics or in accessory or in carpet. It's there, but the much bigger story was cream. A lot of cream. Why? Cream looked great with all of the goldenrod and with all of the olive green. It kept it really bright and fresh. So these are some colors that you're going to start seeing in the design magazines that you're going to see designers pushing into. Now you might say, well, what about, you know, I live in the United States, or I live in Canada, or I live, you know, I'm, you know, dialing in from Australia. Yes, every country has different trends that excite it, but these trends that you see at Maison and Objet start to tickle into the early adapters in the design world across the globe, really and truly. So those are some color stories that are emerging. I will tell you, there was not a lot of red, barely any red. There was not a lot of that, barely any orange. Oh, and green. Right now in the United States, this really interesting, beautiful emerald green is starting to have a moment. Not a lot of that, a little bit of that at the show. Olive was certainly the bigger story, and dustier greens. Turquoise, I should tell you too, was still out there. Not a big story, but it was still there. But the light pale turquoise and the pale blue gray wasn't really happening too much. All right, so that's something for color for you to think about. The upholstery shapes, oh my gosh, really big changes coming down the pike in terms of what was being shown at the show. You know, you didn't see an English arm, you didn't see a sock arm. I'll tell you what you saw a lot of starting to happen, a lot of kidney-shaped sofas, a lot of rounded shoulders, a lot of rounded arms, kind of 70s vintage, a little bit of 80s retro as well. And those shapes were then put next to a really clean, square, rectilinear chair. There was a lot of tufting. So if you are a tufting lover, you're going to be really happy. But tufting, it's like tufting on steroids, because it's not just little beautiful button tufts, and it's not just deep pillow tufts. We're talking something called channel tufting. Have you ever seen that? It's like literally channels that are kind of woven, or it looks like they're cut into a piece of upholstery. Not only was the channel tufting going north-south, I got great images to show you, but there was a lot of channel tufting going east-west across things. Really exciting. And then as a reduction of that channel tufting, there was also something that was like a tuxedo pleating. You know, a man's shirt from the, I don't know, what was that, the 60s, when Katie wasn't even born. Why am I asking her that question? I was barely born in the 60s. Anyway, so I already gave away how old I am. I told you I have Carol Brady hair, so you know I was watching TV in the 70s, therefore I was born in the 60s. But anyway, so the furniture was not only kind of getting into that 70s retro, 80s retro thing, but the base of the furniture, a lot of exposed metal legs in gold, or really boxy square bases that the upholstery would sit on. Really beautiful. A little bit of a Scandinavian modern feeling happening. I know, see some of you applauding out on that one. I know some of my design lover students are with me today, so, and my tribe that I know is really into Scandi moderns, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about style in a sec. So there was tuxedo pleating. Oh, I got off onto a tangent, I'm sorry. So there was this tuxedo pleating on chairs. It wasn't deep tufting, but it was this really interesting pin tucking that went across, you know, east-west on furniture. Really beautiful. I'm not just talking about a beautiful sofa done that way. I'm talking about just the arm of a sofa having tuxedo pleating or channel tufting going down just this thick track arm. I'm talking about an upholstered freestanding bar with channel tufting going down the front of it. I'm talking about headboards, upholstered headboards with, you know, north-south channel tufting. I'm talking about a beautiful barrel chair that not only had north-south channel tufting, but the back of the chair followed, almost like petals, followed the curve of that channel tuft. Really beautiful. I'll be posting pictures in the blog that I will be posting on this once my computer stops having a heart attack on the size of all of the files that I loaded in from being in Paris. So what else is going on in furniture? Well, beautiful emergence, strengthening of black lacquering, not even just on the woods. And I'll talk about the case goods, you know, tables and so forth, but beautiful chairs that had, you know, black lacquered exposed arms or black lacquered legs, with a beautiful rounded, some sort of upholstered seat. And again, rounded shapes, rounded arms, rounded seats, rounded backs was really starting to show quite strongly at the show. Okay, so we talked about the tufting. I'm just looking at my notes here. Chesterfield sofas still out there. Why not? They're tufted, so tufting is a big story. A lot of, let's go into more furniture, not just upholstered shapes. Let's start to look at seating and also you know, case goods. And again, if you have a question, feel free to pop it in about trend. I'll start taking questions in a sec. But woven, you know, wickered and woven rush types of things, really beautiful black lacquer exterior, and then a beautiful caned, woven caning for a beautiful screen, gorgeous. Quite a bit of that starting to show up, and really adorable, like little Parisian bistro chairs were showing up quite a bit as well. Really, really beautiful. Now, in terms of, you know, creating great tension in design, going from one end of the spectrum to another, all of that beautiful caned work and woven work looked really pretty against the crystal chandeliers that are still quite strong, the globes in crystal, the globes in metal. So let's move into lighting. Definitely still seeing a lot of drum shades for suspended lighting for chandeliers. Seeing still a lot of globe lighting, you know, the big circle, a lot of crystal globes as well, and then juxtaposing those with something that's in a beautiful caned chair with a black lacquer, you know, outlining to it. Really, really gorgeous looking stuff. So in terms of the wood furniture, that limed wood, you know what that is? That's that wood that looks kind of like driftwoody. Still there, but it was not the big story. In cases where it was still there, it was also getting a little darker and deeper, and was often combined with, again, that exposed metal leg. So, you know, that organic-y feeling top, then added to that, or, you know, that beautiful metal leg. And I'll talk about the metals in a sec. A lot of open metal base options for tables as well as seating starting to happen as well. And then in terms of the wood colors, we saw everything from black lacquering for furniture down to you know, cream and pale lacquers that weren't high sheen. And beyond that, the woods that were stained, they were anywhere from a mid to a deeper to a little bit of a deeper limed wood. Interesting, saw a lot of nesting tables for cocktail tables, and not just interesting, you know, it wasn't just, you know, I said nesting tables, I'm sorry, I meant bunching tables, a lot of bunching tables as cocktail tables, and not just, you know, 2 bunching tables, 2 squares or 4 squares, like 2 really interesting hexagons, or metal and glass top, but in different levels and layers. We saw a lot of different levels. Or they all metal, and, you know, 5 or 4 different, look like lily pad leaves in different levels, and that was your cocktail table. So really interesting push on where furniture shapes are going. And then something else I would tell you that I thought was, you know, pretty striking at the show were the metals themselves. So metal is still going, a lot of gold out there, and not just burnished now. Now we're starting to see it's picking up more and more shine, and black metals as well. So if you love silver, it hasn't gone away, but it's definitely taken, you know, a back seat. It's still there, and I did a tour with one of my private groups. I've got a VIP group I meet with every Monday, every month on a Monday night, and I took my peeps through a tour of the show house that I went to over there, the Architectural Digest show house in Paris, and I showed them how one designer was just so easily moving from mixing golds in a burnish and a high polish to a beautiful lacquered desk with a high polished silver, you know, hardware on it. Looked beautiful. So I don't want you to get freaked out about the fact that metals are changing and you know, you can absolutely mix your metals. Just because gold is taking on, you know, more and more steam and it's getting even more high polished doesn't mean that what you've done in the past has to be, you know, thrown out. It's like you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater. So I see some questions coming in, and oh, last thing on style. Overall, I'd sum up the different styles that we're seeing is Scandi-modern, Scandinavian modern, mid-century modern, classic, and also some 70s and 80s retro vintagey stuff. So there you go. And I know a picture is worth a bajillion words, and I will definitely be getting a great post out to you on this. I had such a good time working on this when my, you know, computer wasn't, you know, reaching for the vomit bucket and having a problem. Okay, so let's see. There are questions. Jill is saying, Kay is saying hello. Jill Keogh is saying welcome home. Thank you, Jill. It's great to be back. Jill is saying hi to her cousin Sharon. All right, Jill just has a lot to say. It's good. That's good, Jill. I want everybody to feel comfortable. Okay, Donna Greco is saying, I have leather espresso colored sofa and love seat. Ideas on an ottoman. Donna, I don't know what else you have around it. I don't know what's in your adjoining room. I need to see a picture to be able to tell you this, but gosh, you could do something in velvet. Velvet is continues to have a hot moment. Was having a hot moment at the Maison and Objet show. Velvet absolutely combines beautifully with leather. You could do a wrapped cocktail table in a faux chagrin. You could do an upholstered ottoman. There are about 8, not to mention 500 different wood options you can do. And you can even do, you could do certain stones with that too. And I will add too at Maison and Objet, a lot of stone top furniture and stone with metal banding on it. So I think you got a lot of options, Donna. Kind of a general answer I'm giving you because it's kind of a general question, and I need to see a picture to be able to guide you really well. So hopefully that gets you started. Jill lost her connection. I hope you're back in there, Jill. Kay wants to know, what about trending wood colors? Okay, well, I can drill down further into that, or I can repeat that in case you join later, Kay. A lot of black lacquering happening with a nice high sheen. And then we're seeing other lacquered colors in creams, but in a lower sheen. That driftwoody limed wood still happening, but as I said earlier, it's getting a little bit deeper. And then in terms of stained woods, we're seeing mid-tone into some deeper tones, or again, when that limed wood is stained, it's getting a little bit deeper. Katie's going to be feeding me questions from Instagram in case we're getting any of those. And I see people are waving to me, and I can't scroll through on Instagram because literally my phone, which is how we're going live on Instagram, is like up there with tape and chewing gum, and if I touch it, boop, it's going to go off. So Katie, you'll have to feed those to me. So Kay, hopefully I answered you about what's trending in wood colors. Jill Kenny Keogh wants to know white cabinets still having a moment. Jill, I didn't see, there's no kitchen shown there, and weirdly, you know, don't these French women eat? If you go shopping in the boutiques, you're like, no, they do not eat because everything is a size -0. But I didn't see any kitchen at the show house. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen a kitchen at a French show house. What up with that? What? There must be the houses. I've gone to 2 Parisian show houses in the last 3 years, so maybe I just hit it wrong. But so I can't tell you about trending from Maison and Objet about kitchen, but I will tell you that in terms of what I'm seeing in my trade magazines and trade journals, white kitchens, they're still having a moment. They're still out there, but when you go to a show like a Kips Bay show house, you do not see, I haven't seen a white kitchen in a Kips Bay show house for, I don't know, 4 years. What starts to happen is with the proliferation of, you know, Instagram and Pinterest, where a trend just gets so blown up and it gets seen so many times, a lot of cutting edge designers kind of take the approach, you know, I don't want to do a white kitchen. I'm going to do something different for my client, and my clients want something very unique and signature. I'm the type of designer, I do what my clients ask me to do. And if I see in their craving images that they love white kitchens, I give them a white kitchen. So I don't think white kitchens are going away in the next minute and a half. I don't. I think that there's more steam happening with the white kitchen, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Alrighty, so do we have any other questions coming in from Instagram?
One, we already answered that.
One, but I already answered the Instagram question. Okay, so listen, guys, I have time for 2 more questions. If you have a question, by all means, get it in. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you that next week, we're going to be answering the question, does a color palette have to be carried through your home? And if so, what does that actually mean? And how do you do it? So we'll be talking about that and taking your questions about moving your color palette through your home if you're having a problem with that. So that's next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm still just doing a last call on questions. If there's a question that comes in the next 30 seconds or 40 seconds or so, I'll be happy to answer it. So next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m., we'll be here live again on Instagram and on Facebook answering the question, does a color palette need to roll through your house or your home? And if so, how do you do it? And then I also want to remind you that if you'd like to follow us on Instagram, we'd love to have you with us. And you can do so at decorating.genius, decorating.genius. You guys are already on Instagram, so I'm not going to show it to you. I'm showing it to you. Decorating.genius to follow us on Instagram. There you go. So there's another Facebook question, Katie? Oh, I have to scroll down. Oh, well, getting so technical. Oh, look at that. There are questions. I'm so sorry. I didn't scroll down. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Alrighty. So Judith wants to know what are the trends with window treatments? Oh, Judith, window treatments remain clean and simple, full panels, beautiful shades. I was seeing lambrequins for about like a minute and a half at some of the show houses in New York, but I really haven't seen those happening as much. And I'm starting to see more. We're starting to see more trims on the leading edges of things, you know, tassel fringes and so forth. But things just continue to be simple and clean. Although I'll tell you what is a growing trend in custom window treatments: beautiful tape. So a taped embellishment, like, you know, we're doing a bedroom suite in a residence, and we've got this great like Greek key tape going down the leading edge of the treatment, and then there's also a velvet cord that's at the end, you know, bordering the end of that. Those are going to be gorgeous, Katie, aren't they? We can't wait to see that installed. So hopefully in the next couple of months that'll go in. So so those are some trends for you. Simple panels, still a lot of tapes. You know, we're not seeing requests for swags and jabots. That look still has not come back in a big way. However, I will tell you that at the Kip Space Show House last May, I started to see swags and jabots by some designers. So I'm not really looking forward to that coming back. I hope it doesn't come back for a while, but it might. And if it does, I'm going to put on my big girl panties and I'll deal with it. But still seeing a lot of simplicity in window treatments. So hopefully that answers you, Judith. Lori wants to know, are you seeing any floral fabrics in furniture? Oh, Lori, I'm so glad you asked that. No. In fact, we were remarking after going to the show house in Paris, as well as the Maison and Objet trend forecasting show, right? There was almost no pattern, forget floral, almost no pattern whatsoever on any upholstery. There was one really fun group from Portugal and another really fun group from not Portugal, I don't remember where, but they showed a couple of silhouettes with upholstered silhouettes that had interesting fabrics, graphic fabrics on them, like geometric, but not floral, which surprised me because floral's definitely having its moment. And I'll tell you what though, if you love floral, there were some beautiful embroidered details and floral details on the leading edges of some of the draperies at this Paris show house that were incredible, like breathtaking incredible. So I'll be posting pictures of those. But to answer your question very succinctly, Lori, no, I am not seeing floral fabrics on furniture. But you know what? Who cares? If you are designing a home for yourself or for a client and you want to do something bold, I say do it. Do it. Stand out. Take a stab and be different. Don't be another Me Too design. I got to tell you, I just finished redesigning our family room, and I did a beautiful set of chairs and a gorgeous green fabric. And I was so aggravated after I ordered the sample of this fabric when someone in the showroom, this was like 10 months ago, said, "Oh, Don, I think we're going to start seeing this fabric trending, this color trending. I said, oh no, you got to be kidding me. I really just wanted this for something I'm playing with in this room. I don't want it. I don't want something that's, all over the place trending. So if you want to do a floral fabric on your pair of chairs or your dining chairs, or you just want to do a floral medallion at the back of all of your dining chairs or the inside back of your dining chairs, do it. Step out. Stop following the crowd. Boom. I know you can do it. I'm proud of you and you're strong. Do it, Lori. Lisa is saying, is gray still trending with 4 question marks? Is that nervousness? Does that mean that, Lisa, you just painted your whole house gray and bought a bunch of gray furniture? Relax. Gray is never going to be out. Okay. I was using gray as a paint color 12 years ago before it was a thing. It's a neutral, just like white is a neutral, black is a neutral. Oh, remind me to talk to you about black. Katie, remind me to talk about black. But anyway, so gray is not going away. Is it the big, big, big story? It wasn't at this trade show. It was there, but other colors were overtaking it. Same thing at the show house I went to. Cream was a bigger story than gray. That said, gray is not going away. So I still believe your retailers are going to be showing it, your online retailers, your catalogers. I think you're still going to be seeing gray, particularly in the United States, for a while longer. I meant to talk to you about black when I was talking about color. Black, and I don't just mean on metal legs. I mean fabric. I mean upholstered silhouettes with a gorgeous black fabric on it, which looked great with goldenrod and it looked great with the creams. So I'm starting to see more and more black, and that's a little teeny seed that I saw 3 years ago at Maison and Objet. Definitely blew up bigger. So anyway, hope, Lisa, that I allayed your concerns with your 4 question marks, and I hope I allayed your concerns about gray. You're okay. Are you seeing any floral fabrics in furniture? Lori, floral fabric seems to be showing up in the showrooms in New York and Philadelphia, certainly, much more than it has in the past. However, I have not seen it applied to upholstery at trade shows. I'm just thinking, or at, did we see it at Kips Bay? I don't think we did. I don't recall seeing it on chairs or sofa or whatever. I mean, if you're gonna do it, I would do it on like an accent chair. Definitely though, seeing it in wallpaper showing up. Katie's reminding me, and we are seeing that. But again, Laura, if you want to do it, go for it. Just do it. All right. So now this is a question on Instagram from Margaret. Margaret, I just want to let you know that I know you couldn't make the VIP meetup last night, but I answered you. So make sure you look at the recording in the members area. Sorry, everybody. I got to be efficient and get to people, talk to people while I can. Margaret wants to know, what is the trend in fabric prints in general? Well, things are definitely getting more geometric, which makes sense because we're seeing more of this 70s retro thing happening. So if you think about what was happening in the 70s in furniture, it was pretty geometric. So we're seeing more geometrics happening, but we're also seeing some florals coming out. That said, we will always have those little small scale fabrics. They're like the foot soldiers that help, to move the room forward and hold it together. Trying to think of what we're not seeing as much paisley. It's still out there, but we're not seeing as much of that. Certainly not seeing plaids, at this moment in time. Swirled and scrolled fabrics continue to have their moment, whether it's a printed scroll or an embroidered scroll. But I would say that the bigger movement that we're seeing coming in fabric as well as wallpaper is just geometrics. Whether it's tone-on-tone geometric or a lot of color. We're getting like high fives and thumbs up on that. So there's some people out there happy. Oh, and smiley faces and lots of love on the idea of geometrics. So there you go. All righty. But good question, Margaret, and thank you for asking that. Okay, dolls, I think that this is it. I think this is it. I think we have exhausted all questions. It was so good spending time with you. I will see you next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m. live, 4 p.m. Eastern. Taking your questions live. Follow us on Instagram at decorating. at decorating.genius. So high tech, sorry. And next week we're talking about color palettes, how to roll them through your home. Do you have to? If you do, how do you do it? And we'll be taking your questions about color and so forth then. So, mwah to everybody, and we will see you next week.